Hello, my name is William Parker, and I'm a rising sophomore at Boston University. Spending a semester abroad in London has opened my eyes to many new things and given me experiences I am truly grateful for. I have chosen to focus on the sacrifice of animals in warfare throughout history and how this sacrifice has changed the relationships between humans and non-humans. In doing this, I traveled to the Animals in War Memorial at Hyde Park. The monument, located next to Speaker's Corner of the park in between two very busy streets, pays homage to the creatures that have aided Britain's war efforts throughout time. The two mules in front of the wall are pictured bearing the weight of necessary tools for military purposes, while a horse and dog behind the wall illuminate the sacrifice they had made for the lives of the soldiers. There is much foot traffic throughout the area, which brings more light to the significance of the memorial. We can emphasize for the creatures that we love, but also understand their significance to a total war effort. Writer Stephen Johnston argues against the use of animals in war, and calls out humanity's use of patriotism to transcend moral boundaries as inhumane to the creatures. In this slide you can see a dog and a horse, arguably the animals that are most connected to mankind. While our love for them is strong, we still throw them into the carnage for a cause they could never comprehend, which calls into question, why produce a memorial for creatures that could never understand it? Writer Judith Baumel-Schwartz acknowledged that the human desire for commemoration is rooted within our need to bridge the gap between past and future and feed the all-pervasive mortal need to achieve some form of immortality, if not for oneself, then for someone or something of importance to one. The left side of the wall shows a variety of different animals seemingly running into war, while the right side acknowledges the sacrifice they have made for Britain throughout time. The words to the right of the acknowledgement state how many of these animals had no choice. Writer Ian Jack of The Guardian portrays a certain critique of this aspect of the monument. He states that yes, they did have no choice, but neither did many soldiers who have fought for their countries throughout time. Jack argues that in the cause of human freedom throughout time, many unwilling soldiers have taken to the battlefield, and the animals that accompany them are a necessity in many regards. While this remains true, the conscious understanding of war is lost upon animals, making them pawns in a much larger game of human domination. The use of animals such as the horse throughout World War One and before alleviated the use of manpower. Horses brought troops into battlefield, carried supplies on their backs, and pulled machinery when necessary. The sacrifice of freedom that these animals made for human use did not come without a price. Over 8 million horses perished in World War One, and many fell in the wars before this. As time has progressed, writers like Jennifer Parker Starbuck illustrate the change between man's reliance on horses and other animals to man's reliance on technology. With an increase in technology prevalent every year, humanity sees much less loss of life for animals during wartime, but with greater technology comes the terrifying ability to wipe out mass populations of people with a single weapon. Humans believe in the power that patriotism brings to a nation. In the early 20th century, when war struck, it became a factor of everyday life for the citizens. With the need for everyone to contribute comes the need for sacrifice. As humans, we have sacrificed animals in war for thousands of years. We see their life as much lesser than that of a person. With their suffering comes our need for commemoration of the fallen animals. And this commemoration is not merely for them, though. It is for us to cope with what we have put them through. I see the use of animals in warfare as something that is based in necessity, but is in the end morally incorrect. They have aided us throughout time, but what was it truly for? Humanity looks back at the wars we have fought with nothing but regret. You can look at all of the animal lives lost throughout time and see how wasteful it truly was. I am personally glad that the use of horses and other creatures will no longer be necessary as machinery has become their substitution. In researching this topic, I have seen an extent to how these animals have suffered during war and want to see no more of it in the future. Hopefully, advanced technology can become the final step in removing animals from the grasp of wartime suffering. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned more of the sacrifice us humans tend to forget about.